Today, we'll dive into the shadowy world of psychological warfare, not the stuff of spy novels, but the everyday tactics used to keep societies in check. This isn't conspiracy theory, it's drawn from observations of power dynamics, inspired by thinkers like Noam Chomsky and even documents like Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Today, we'll unpack 9 powerful strategies that elites and states employ to influence public opinion, often through the media. First up, distraction, the art of keeping us chasing shiny objects. Picture this: you're scrolling through your phone, bombarded by celebrity scandals, viral cat videos, or the latest meme storm. Meanwhile, critical issues like economic inequality or policy changes slip by unnoticed. The core idea here is to flood the information space with trivial noise, diverting our focus from real power plays in politics, economics, or science. Why? So we don't gain knowledge in fields like psychology, neuroscience, or cybernetics that could empower us to question the status quo. As that infamous quote from Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars puts it, constantly distract citizens from real social problems by switching their attention to insignificant topics. Ensure they're always occupied, leaving no time for reflection, like herding animals from field to pen. Think about how during election seasons, media obsesses over candidates' gaffes or personal lives, instead of dissecting their policies on climate change or corporate bailouts. Or recall the 2020s, when endless TikTok trends and influencer drama overshadowed debates on data privacy laws. It's not accidental, it's a deliberate strategy to keep us entertained and uninformed. Moving on to strategy number 2, creating problems, then offering the solution. Or as it's cleverly called, problem reaction solution. This one's like a magician's sleight of hand: manufacture a crisis, stir up public fear or outrage, and then swoop in with the fix that conveniently advances your agenda. The goal? Make the people demand the very changes you wanted all along. For instance, amp up urban violence through lax policing or sensationalized reporting, then watch as citizens clamor for stricter security laws that erode civil liberties. Historical example? The Patriot Act after September 11th, terrorist attacks which was real and horrific, led to widespread calls for surveillance measures that expanded government powers far beyond the immediate threat. On the economic front, engineer a recession through deregulation or market manipulation, then present austerity measures as the necessary evil, like cutting social services or workers' rights. We've seen this in the 2008 financial crisis, where bailouts for banks came with strings that hit everyday folks hardest, all while the public begged for stability. It's genius, really, turning fear into compliance. Now, let's talk about the gradual approach, or boiling the frog slowly. Ever heard that analogy? If you toss a frog into boiling water, it jumps out. But heat the water gradually, and it stays put until it's too late. That's the essence here: introduce unpopular policies bit by bit, over days, months, or years, so resistance never builds. Instead of slamming through a massive tax hike or surveillance overhaul overnight, roll it out in phases. Start with pilot programs or temporary measures. Expand this, it preys on our adaptability. We get used to small erosions of freedom until the big picture is transformed. A prime example is the erosion of privacy in the digital age. In the 1990s, cookies were just a minor tracking tool. Fast forward to today, and we're living in a surveillance economy with apps monitoring our every move, all introduced incrementally through user agreements and updates. Or consider minimum wage stagnation, adjusted gradually, or not at all, amid inflation, making poverty wages feel normal over decades. This method works because it avoids shock, letting us acclimate to the unacceptable. Strategy 4, deferring the pain: promise it's for tomorrow, not today. This is about selling tough decisions as painful but necessary, while kicking the can down the road. People are wired to discount future discomfort. It's easier to agree to sacrifices later than right now. Why? First, it doesn't hurt immediately. Second, we cling to optimism: things will get better by then. This buys time for acceptance. Expand with an example. Governments often announce pension reforms or environmental regulations years in advance, framing them as essential for future generations. Take climate policies. Leaders pledge net zero emissions by 2050, getting buy-in now while delaying real action. Or social security debates in the US, where cuts are floated as future adjustments to avoid backlash today. It lulls us into complacency, and when the bill comes due, we're already resigned. Remember the Greek debt crisis in the 2010s? Austerity was sold as a distant necessity, but when implemented, it sparked riots, too late for prevention. Halfway through, hang in there. Number 5, treating the public like children. Ever notice how political speeches or ads sound like bedtime stories? Simple words, repetitive slogans, cartoonish characters, it's deliberate. By using infantile language and tone, manipulators bypass critical thinking, appealing to our suggestible side. As the reasoning goes, if you talk to someone like they're 12 or younger, their response will likely lack the critical edge of an adult. This infantilization makes us more pliable. Examples abound: campaign ads with fear-mongering visuals, think scary music and shadowy figures, or simplistic chants like "build the wall" that reduce complex immigration issues to playground taunts. In media, reality TV and tabloids dumb down discourse, making nuanced debate feel boring. It's like feeding us mental junk food, tasty but empty, keeping us from growing into informed citizens. Sixth, amping up emotions over logic. Emotions are the fast lane to our brains, hit them hard, and rational analysis shuts down. This tactic floods us with fear, anger, or hope to plant ideas subconsciously, blocking critical reflection. Why? It opens the door to desires, phobias, or behaviors we might otherwise reject. Think of wartime propaganda stirring patriotism to justify invasions, or ads using heart-tugging stories to sell products. Modern example: social media algorithms prioritize outrage, posts about cancel culture or woke agendas go viral, dividing us emotionally while distracting from policy substance. During the COVID-19 pandemic, fear-mongering headlines accelerated vaccine mandates, often without deep dives into data. It's powerful because emotions stick, logic requires effort. 7. Fostering ignorance and mediocrity. To control a population, keep education subpar for the masses, ensuring they can't grasp manipulation techniques. The quote nails it: the quality of education for lower classes should be as poor and mediocre as possible, so the ignorance gap between classes remains unbridgeable. This creates a compliant underclass. Examples: underfunded public schools in low-income areas versus elite prep schools. Media plays in by promoting anti-intellectualism, think reality stars over scientists. It cultivates a culture where "book smart" is mocked, leaving people vulnerable to spin. Closely related. 8. Glorifying mediocrity. Push the idea that being dumb, vulgar, or uncultured is cool or authentic. Through media, celebrate influencers over innovators, turning shallowness into aspiration. Reality TV like The Kardashians or memes glorifying laziness normalize it. Why? A mediocre populace doesn't challenge the elite, they consume and conform. Example: the rise of anti-vax misinformation framed as rebellious thinking, discouraging critical inquiry. Finally, 9. Instilling self-blame. Convince people their misfortunes stem from personal failings, not systemic issues. Low intelligence? Lack of effort? That's on you. This leads to self-doubt, depression, and inaction, killing any revolutionary spark. Instead of protesting inequality, folks turn inward. Example: the "pull yourself up by your bootstraps" myth in America, blaming poverty on laziness while ignoring wage gaps. During recessions, media spotlights personal finance tips over corporate greed. It's a masterstroke: turn potential rebels into passive victims. Okay, that's all folks. I mean, there are indeed many other tricks, but these are major ones. The takeaway? Awareness is your shield. Next time you consume news, ask, what's being hidden? Who's benefiting? Stay curious, question everything, and let's build a more enlightened world together. Thank you for listening. If this was useful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe.